Never switch, never fall down where I came from. Straight down, Dallas. Close my heart till the day I die. And when the lights go out, I see you on the other
Rumsey got that sauce in it. I do this for my real love, my bro, now my day ones for the love and support. Militia, if you get this fast, I promise it I keep back. Hold on, it I keep up. Last time, do it I tell. I promise it I give up. Exactly 3 years, quiet games. You could undertake it this much. Blessing every day. Says it's amazing, it is smart. Me make you what you change. I could undertake at this fast, so in case to pattern it. Maintain the same distance. My shows, Mulitana from the one to the mash up. You're more than a friend. To me, you're a brother. Any time of any day, you can call utanipata when you down, when you bro. Kolebo sizi kata siko lonely at the top. Na kam na made ones hata kama ni a few. Niko proud na ikru, rest in peace, joto tough. You left very soon, hizi streets bila you. Singejua mini who. When you down, when you farm, when you down na kurank, when you down kinitaja niko there mina kam. When you down, when you farm, when you down na kurank, when you down kinitaja niko there mina kam. When you day one, my day one, my day one, my day one. When you day one, my day one, my day one, my day one, my day one. Now do this for my real, that's my bro, now my day one for the love and support. Militia, if you get this fast, I promise it I give back. Hold on, it I keep up. Last time, do it I tell. I promise it I give up. Exactly 3 years, quiet games, we could undertake it this much. Blessing every day, says it's amazing, it is smart. You make you want to change, I could pick up this fast, so in case to pattern it. I did the same thing.
You're tuning into Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to the Pan-African Bliss Show with your host, none other than Joby. Andrew Robinson, enough respect, love, respect, and justice for all.
Good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Grand rising, good evening, good afternoon from my end. 25 minutes past the top of the hour. Welcome to the Pan-African Bliss Show episode of this amazing week. And I hope your weekend was fantastic. Hope you're ready for the week and for the conversation of today, which is very, very interesting. We shall be talking about South Africa, literally the country and the people. And lately, we've been having, of course, so many issues happening regarding the land ownership, and which has been a struggle for so many Black South Africans, of course, getting or rather owning their lands back. And shout out to Wode Maya, who actually did gather up this information that I'll be sharing today, as we get to see literally how white South Africans have settled themselves right there, how they claim they legally got the land, and literally how no Black man is allowed in that particular town of there. So karibuni sana, that's our topic for today. Shout out to everyone live with us on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, everyone on the radio station. To those who shall catch this on a replay, I hope you guys get to enjoy. In case you're here for the first time, I'd love to urge you to subscribe, follow us on whatever stream you're streaming live with us from, and download our app, which comes with very amazing organic supplements. We also have amazing merchandise, all at amazing sizes, literally your size, whatever you'd like to pick, your color, all at the apparel store. And of course, you can find that if you're using an Android device on the Google Play Store. Black Hot Fire Network is the name of our app. You can be able to also stream on the radio in case you're not able to catch up with us live on YouTube or rather the rest of the platform. But once you also have the app, you can sign in using your username. We have some amazing, sometimes movie nights. So on the network, you can be able to chill with us on those amazing particular times. But karibuni sana once again. Before we get back to the music, that was Palma One with My Day One, newly released jam. Shout out to the homies. And of course, before we get back to one more jam, I'll come back with the quote of the day, of course. And I want to share some amazing supplements, or some of the supplements we have, without wasting much more of the time, because the conversation of today, I do believe it's kind of really, really heated. For me, I watched this when I was watching this video during the weekend. I was quite shocked to hear what these white people and the privilege and the confidence they really have. And you look at how South Africans speak of fear, as much as we've seen people like Julius Malema leading towards, of course, the calling of, us getting our lands back. Remember, there's that song one time when people literally were gathered, the South Africans, and they were speaking about kill white farmers, kill white farmers. That was the chant literally that South Africans were actually, pushing out there, claiming for their land back. But karibuni sana once again. This is some amazing brain and focus formula. listen to the benefits as we get to the music, come back with the quote of the day, and of course, start the conversation without wasting
Unlock
much
your
more
full
time.
potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here is the
Sina courage ya kushoka na kufeel Bunny crazy unafanya big boys on a trip Never think niko jikiniko Head over heels na na feel kijibu Moja ni tip for a sing Putting Netflix and chill Log a freaky English shit I wanna bet you know you better So that you what you mean Kama kari na obsessed Let's chill sisi mini Let's the one that I want You're the one that I need.
Sina courage ya kushoka na kufeel Bunny crazy unafanya big boys on a trip Ever since niko jikiniko Head over heels na na feel kijibu Moja ni tip for a sing Broken Netflix and chill Log a freaky English shit I wanna bet you know you better So that you what you mean Kama kari na obsessed Let's chill sisi mini You're the one that I want You're the one that I need.
Fast big fast, you see there no last. Can you do run last? Let me take that chance. She wanna roll with a real bad man. There's a funny good girl. I go bad car, Cardi B now. Roll the keyboard. After doing blown super, I can be lost. Me love tell to leave. Ask Kalans in a club. I love language, joking at the guitar.
Nikikumbuka baby girl, simkimada na kuhala. I'm a very busy man, see I'm all about the goal. At 4-7 round the block, nikumbuka mina saka. Najua they did it wrong, it's never cause I'm a falla. With you by my side, baby girl, says it blanda. I'm a man on my watch, let's keep it on Hana. You got me doing things on a deni me pangawa. What they say, to make sure to kusafi. Courage ya kushoga na kufeel, bunny crazy wanafanya big boys on a trip. Ever since niko chiki niko head over heels na na feel kijipongo tani take for a scene. Broken Netflix and chill on the freaky in the shit. I wanna get to know you better so that you what you mean. Kama kari na offset, let's chill season me. You're the one that I want, you're the one that I need.
Yes, karibuni sana, 31 minutes past the top of the hour, and welcome to the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. This is the Pan-African Bliss, and you're listening to the media of the 21st century. My name is Joby. To the first-time listeners, once again on YouTube, BitChute, everyone on Rumble. In case you're here for the first time, kindly subscribe to those amazing platforms and ensure you have our application. Like I said, we have amazing merchandise. We have amazing organic supplements from vitamins, proteins, amino acids, beauty, hair, nail, skin essential, all coming at a very affordable price. Like the Brain and Focus formula, which I just shared. Ensure you get yourself one. We have some amazing vitamin C. We have some sea moss. We have Moringa Pure. If you've been looking for Moringa powder, all there, and it is all organic. No hassle, all organic. But since we're talking about South Africa today, I want to share a quote from Nelson Mandela. And this is not a quote. I feel like this is actually one of the lies, the propaganda he was pushing to make South Africans feel comfortable and embrace literally having white people in their country. For me, I don't take this as a revolutionary quote. I take it literally as a threat to the Black people, because it's something I've tried or something I've seen literally some of the presidents or leaders use as an excuse of always excusing white people's behavior in our continent. But it says, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if you can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. And if you try actually look at when it talks about love comes naturally to the human heart than its opposite, which human are we talking about here? We're talking about us black people, because naturally, if you talk about no one is born hating another person, naturally white people hate us. Naturally, white people are full of racism. Last week we covered a really amazing spiritual show. We were to continue the rest of the episode on Friday, but we were not able to make it. But for those maybe who have been able to catch up, of course, with the replay of where we were, that is at the CUEA Auditorium Pan African Awards. Of course, you understand why we were not able to do the show on Friday nights. But shout out to Keith. I've seen he has also been able to cover 2 amazing shows this weekend. Shout out to him. So yeah, personally, this I take as a threat to black people. Once again, I'm going to read it. There's a quote from Nelson Mandela, which says, "No one is born hating another person because of the skin of their color, of his color, or his background, or his religion. People must hate. People must learn to hate. And if you can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes naturally to the human heart than its opposite." Well, I'll say why people naturally have hate. And I don't believe also anyone can learn how to hate. I don't think so. I don't think, I believe also hate comes naturally. You don't really, I don't think you can really force that, or you can learn how to hate someone. I don't take that. So Nelson Mandela failed with that quote, but I had to share it since we're talking about South Africa. So without wasting much more of the time, of course, I want to start with this video. Like I said, I've spent this weekend, majority of the times, literally just watching some documentaries, doing research, checking on what has been happening uh, politically in our continent. And of course, there's more positive news, but I don't want to share that today. Literally, I'd say that's a program for tomorrow, and more history on research. I've seen so many things that I didn't know that I'll be sharing literally during this week. But for today, we're focused on South Africa. And of course, this is, I'd say, triggering, should be triggering to us as Black people. Across the continent, especially because, of course, we've seen the effect of neocolonialism literally taking place in Africa, where we can see white people, the Chinese, all of them, all these other races apart from Black people, how they feel so comfortable. Actually, even this, there's a certain Black, not Black, but white man here on this video who says Africa is the best place to be. So if this is a white person talking about this, how Africa is the best place to be, why is it you as an African, you think Africa is not the best place to be? And this is why you need to go back and understand how we've been projected to see our continent. And one thing I really loved about the Pan-African Awards, where we were on Friday, that's one of the things I had. I think it was either Emmanuel Pondi, but one of the speakers, or Natalie Yamb, one of the two, spoke about how we need to change the narrative and the mindset of how we view Africa. And for example, is how we call the third world country, and that is basically one of the things we'd say that has pushed so many African people, or literally pushes so many African people out of the continent, because that's the vision you're given. And that's actually what is happening, because we talk about the poverty in Africa. If you try to look at this land where these white people have settled, I was amazed and shocked at the same time, because these people, we have the so-called climate change alarms, and how we've been told to take out, we've been told we should change some of the lifestyles or our ways of living, the kind of energy we should be using, the kind of electricity we should be introduced, to stop depending on what we have. And as we talk, actually, this country yesterday was under a blackout, but trust you me, where these white settlers are, they are very well arranged. They have a huge solar panel built by them. It is just super, super crazy. I was quite shocked to see how arranged they are in our very own continent. But again, Africans, because this video literally is almost 1 million views. So meaning if majority of the people who have watched this should be Africans. I just hope you're learning something from this. This should be a wake-up call to majority of us in the continent, no matter where you're watching this from, to understand the white people's agenda. They know Africa is good for them. Why don't you know Africa is good for you? That's one of the things I learned literally from here. They're doing things you were doing before. How comes you've lost your cultures and traditions? So it's quite an educative video. but really also triggering, because I was just like, it's crazy. So let me start this video as we literally get into the debate.
I'm in love with Orania.
Yeah.
Can I stay in here?
You're not African.
So literally is just to give it a quick summary again. So this is literally the only white, only white South Africans are allowed here. No black person, no black South African, or from wherever country of Africa where you come from. If you go to South Africa, this is a no black man's land. Only white South Africans. Okay, that's a quick summary of it.
Afrikaners are descendants of Dutch settlers who arrived at the Cape of Good Hope on a boat in the year 1652.
Oh, 1652. We're going all the way back. So if they came on a boat, how comes these people are not existing in this land? Let's start from there. They were never existing in our land. They came via a boat. With a boat, or let's say with a boat. The only thing they had was a boat, not a land, not a house, nothing. They only came with a boat. But today, the white South Africans own majority of the land. Despite being only 8% of the population, they own majority of this land.
Would you say that Orania is a controversial town in South Africa?
Orania is definitely. I don't have to doubt it. I know that Orania is controversial.
Orania.
What is happening? Can somebody answer?
Section 235 of the South African Constitution acknowledges the right of cultural groups to self-determination. But what about the Afrikaner enclave of Orania, which also uses race to determine who can be allowed to live in that community?
The main reason why it's controversial is misperception. I think so. It's my personal opinion. Misperception about Orania. The people who have the most to say about Orania have never visited.
Just say a prayer for my city. Just say a prayer for my city.
I mean, how do you visit a place where you're already banned? Let's start from there. So, okay, so if I have this misconception that you're claiming it's a misconception about your town, and yet I'm not allowed to visit here, why wouldn't I have this? I'm going to carry on the misconception because I've not been there. I don't know anything different apart from what I've had, what I see, what I experience. So, come on.
And what are your favorite things about Orania?
Have you ever seen a 16 or 17-year-old girl walk around 9 o'clock at night? Anywhere in South Africa?
It's not common.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have burglar guards. And if they leave a bike somewhere, tomorrow morning it's still there.
The sundown, it's called the sundown towns, if I'm not really wrong.
Would you agree with me if I say that this man performed a lot of atrocities in the past?
It's our history.
But I know it's your history, but at the end of the day, a lot of people were harmed in the process. You don't think if you are embracing this, you're definitely embracing apartheid?
Is it okay to celebrate Shaka Zulu leader? You know who that is?
I know who Shaka Zulu is.
He killed a lot of people. Is it fine to celebrate him?
That's a question for South Africans.
That is a question. This is a question for Oranians.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
I don't even know how to feel right now. Should I tell you guys that I'm super scared? Because I'm about to do one of the craziest videos that I've never dreamt of. This particular video will definitely go down as one of my most sensitive vlogs ever. I mean, I'm currently in Cape Town, driving to a town that so many South Africans don't want to hear about. I mean, if I talk about South Africans, I'm talking about Black South Africans, indigenous South Africans, people that were here before the settlers came in here. I believe that most of you have heard of the town. In my whole lifetime, I never thought I would come across a town within the land of black people where blacks are not allowed to live in there.
Because when I was watching this, it came to mind that he still, Wode Maya, shout out to him, he still did a video in some parts of North America where white people are not allowed, and this is because that place is very spiritual and they can't survive the place. It's very, very spiritual. They can't survive the place even if they wanted to. So it reminds me of that particular video, literally, and trying to see what white people are doing here. It's not even the same thing, but let's continue.
People out there believe that Orania is a racist model. Do you believe that whatever you guys are practicing here is racism?
No.
So what is it then?
It's a culture.
Of course, it's not racism. To them, it's never. Nothing they do that actually affects the black people is racism. To them, it's okay. To them, because it benefits them, it's okay. Like you can hear, they're claiming it's a cultural town. It's a culture town. Whose culture? Your culture of racism, of not allowing people even work freely in their own land where they have allowed you to settle. That's not part of our culture, because we allowed you to settle despite you killing, despite you taking forcefully, and despite still claiming and saying that you're ready to go on a war if anyone tries to claim their lands back. That's not part of our culture.
It's a culture town. It's an Afrikaner town. The narrative is out there that if you preserve your culture, you're racist, and that's not true.
But I don't think an African can leave Africa, go to Europe, and say that we just bought this land.
Exactly.
And no one is allowed to come in.
Exactly. And you're not even allowed to practice that kind of a culture. There's no culture. There's no a black person would go to India or China or anywhere in America. Even today, we have so many of our descendants. We have literally so many people from America, the black Americans who are taken from this particular continent. Until today, we keep on talking about how black people literally lost so many businesses. We are talking about the situations, the histories that took place in 1906, in 1912, literally. If you go years after years after years of how black people literally have been trying to fight for their freedom, their businesses shut down, everything completely burnt down. Some towns sunk in completely in water because you can't practice your culture there. So what do you mean you as a white person, you come to my land, you deny me access of this particular land that you claim you acquired? Is the part even, let me just continue, I don't want to talk too much. Is the part where he said he was questioned. So would you say you got this land legally? And he had the audacity to say yes. The question I love Wode Maya him asking, who did you pay? I don't remember if he answered that.
In this town, it's whites only. If I have to decode the whites only, I'm talking about Africans only. So if you're a black man like me, you cannot stay there.
We say Orania is a community for Afrikaners. It's not an issue just white in, black out. It's a question of culture.
But someone might ask, if you want
to practice your culture in Europe, go back to the cave, practice your culture there. You can practice your culture where you came from.
You want to preserve your culture, you're preserving your culture on a land that belongs to South Africa.
Exactly.
Well, that is whole nother debate.
If that is the case, then let's bring the other debate.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa.
Yeah, that was Trump. Of course, remember, all this issue is arising after we saw South Africa introducing a new land law, of course, that is supposed to be compensating people who lost their lands back. It's a new law. But we had Trump, who knows nothing apart from calling us a shithole of our continent, who knows nothing about South Africa, never even been there, knows nothing about the people, apart from what the mainstream media, of course, is selling, because that's what they need to see, has the audacity to talk about us. He has the audacity to talk about how where South Africans are being killed. There's another video I was watching last week where It was a white South African himself who came out and said, there's nowhere where white people are being killed. It's the opposite. I remember last year us reporting of where we had a white South African who chopped a woman and fed them to the pig. So make that make sense. Has anyone been held accountable because of that? Of course not. Are they walking scot-free? Hell yeah.
White South Africans make up about 8% of the population, but they hold about 3/4 of privately owned land in the country. In contrast, only 4% of privately held land is owned by Black South Africans, who make up nearly 80% of the country's 60 million residents.
I'm sure that you guys know that white people were not originally from South Africa. Like, they migrated in the late 17th century from Netherlands, France, England, Germany, in short, from Europe. I mean, they were immigrants in South Africa, but they forcefully colonized the people. Actually, no. They enslaved the owners of the land, the Black South Africans. This is something that Donald Trump doesn't know, by the way. So, yeah, well,
he knows. Trump knows what is going on. Trump knows what is happening.
Of the decision.
Last month, President Cyril Ramaphosa signed into law a bill that allows the government to expropriate property for public purposes or in the public interest, in some cases without compensation.
Well, I don't think land expropriation without compensation is a good idea. I think if you realistically look at the amount of land that the South African government has, that the big communities like the Kunyama Trust have and so on, I think the land is not the problem. The problem in South Africa is economic problem.
Land is the problem. So what brings economic problem? If the land can't even produce what profits the economy, if what you're holding literally can boost the economy of the country, but you practice, because he's going to explain some bullshit about agriculture. And this is the part where I got mad, because white people know what's going on with us. White people know very well. I love the fact when I spoke about agenda and understanding, literally. White people always have an agenda when it comes to us, and they have understood we lack literally any agenda when it comes to them. They have understood very well we've gotten rid of our cultures. We don't practice our cultures anymore. So this is why they're comfortably practicing their culture in our land. White people have understood very well we've lost our traditions. So if land is not the problem, and I understand personally, according to how I did business and some parts of understanding agriculture, land is a big factor here and should be one of the biggest resources promoting economy. But it's not, because you hold the biggest percentage of it. This is why South Africa has come up with a new law. If it was not a problem, then Ramaphosa, who's very ashamed, of course, and this should be, has signed a new law. But let's continue.
There's actually been research done on that, proving that people don't necessarily want land, they want a better economic future.
That's a lie. And if we do research, of course, if we want to pull videos on YouTube, leave alone even articles or anything, we have so many videos of South Africans, Black South Africans, let me be specific, who have gone to the streets, who have called out white South Africans because of their behaviors. And we had also, of course, a white South African man, remember, who I shared this video from Twitter, and he said, clocking a gun, we're declaring a war to anyone who shall dare step their foot, claiming this is their land. This is our ancestral land. I quote, that is what he said. This is our ancestral land, and nobody is going to take it away from us. So what do you mean? Most of the Black South Africans are not crying for their land back. Most of the Black South Africans are literally living in poverty, in slums. Excuse me. Didn't we just see it is in South Africa still, where we have the splitting between the road, where we have the rich people and the slums? So what do you mean when you're telling me living in the slum is okay, while there's literally some land stolen from my ancestors sitting freely because you want to see greener pastures or whatever. You just want to see you have land. As I sit and squeeze myself on a curtain of a house. Don't tell me land is not a problem here, white man. It is a big problem. Most of the South Africans need their land back.
Future. Most people don't want to be farmers. To farm.
Most people don't want to be farmers. This really pissed me off.
It's a tough job. It's not a very rewarding job in terms of money and so on. I also think that the South African...
I'll rewind that again. I'll rewind this again. I love talking about agriculture, but it's one of the debates that really pisses me off. And this is what I'm saying. Why people have understood very well, we've lost our cultures and tradition. Listen to what this white man is saying. Most of the Black South Africans don't want to practice farming. When I talk about farming personally, I've understood. Most of the Black people, not just in South Africa, but in the continent of Africa, are not able to practice farming because of the lands they are fighting for, because we do not have access of these lands. So where do I practice farming? In my hands? In the air? Where should I practice farming when I don't have any land to practice farming on? Oh, it's a draining job. That's what you white people sold to Black people. You've been stealing most of the lands in Africa, and you've ensured not only are we going to be importing food, but also exporting majority of what we produce and making zero profit through AGOA. Leave alone that. You've also ensured Africans will run away from their homes because of the poverty you've created. Poverty starts from literally lack of land, okay? That is the biggest poverty, I'd say literally, because that was one of the wealth we literally, when you could say an African man is wealthy, land was one of the literally assets, one of the biggest assets. It is still one of the biggest assets, and this is why they refuse to leave. They refuse to leave. And this is why I'll go back a little bit and maybe back the comment I once read here from, if I can remember, I can't remember who, but she was a sister on the comment, and she said, no, Black people are not lazy. And I agree. I only said Black leaders are lazy. Not all of them. When I mean leaders, we're talking about our puppets. And it's on purpose. Their work is just stealing. But are Black people lazy? No. No. So you can't say nobody wants to practice farming. It's the biggest lie I've heard, claiming that it's crazy. But that's what they projected on the majority of the Black people's mentality. So we can run away from this, from practicing agriculture. Look, see it as a dirty job, so we can continue eating GMOs.
Want a better economic future. Most people don't want to be farmers. To farm is a tough job. It's not a very rewarding job in terms of money and so on.
Farming is the, if you want to become rich, farming, okay? You don't even need to do the most, leave alone even the land. Just take some chicken, 2, 3, 4, that can produce you eggs. Get that chicken to produce other chicks, and you have more chicken and more eggs. Starts like that. Make profit. You have a land or something, acquire something. Like, come on. Keith said he's going to share details of what we've been doing in Kenya. I won't say much. So this white man is capping.
I also think that the South African economy will collapse if there is land expropriation without compensation.
Interesting. And I want to include you in this conversation. So let me know what you think in the comment section. But don't forget to like this video because it's very important to me.
Of course, Wode Maya is a moron. That's what I think. I don't like using that term at all, but he is a moron for saying that.
Welcome back. Oranje, an Afrikaner-only town in South Africa, has weighed in on the US President Donald Trump's order halting financial aid to South Africa and offering refugee status to Afrikaners.
But this is what Afrikaners think about Trump's offer.
We are not necessarily interested in tax dollars and handouts and help. What we want, we already got to an extent. We want recognition. We want recognition from abroad. We want recognition locally, and we want recognition from our peers. That is to say, firstly, those people are a people upon themselves. And this, they have the right to make certain decisions for themselves. That is what we want. We don't want people's money. We don't want people's handouts. We as Orania want larger recognition, greater recognition.
Recognition for what? You're already recognized for already taking the biggest percentage of land. You're already recognized for your racism, because this is racism in front of our very own eyes in an African country where Black people can't even walk freely. There's sundown towns. Come on.
And I think
recognition for your racism. We've already recognized that.
That is not too much to ask. Actually, I think that's very reasonable.
And probably you might be wondering, what do Black South Africans feel about this?
Orania can't be a folk state. It is actually what I consider to be a micronation. It's just like a small, considered, it has certain independencies. They have their own currency.
It is,
yeah.
You know,
imagine these people even have their own currency.
When I picked up on that, I realized that there's a measure of sovereignty that is not complete.
Yes.
You guys might be
There's no sovereignty in this country.
wondering, how did I got to know about this town within South Africa?
Yeah.
So recently I found myself in South America on a project of connecting Africans in the diaspora with Africans living in Africa. So I found myself in Suriname and I came across this village called Dahomey.
Remember Dahomey? Of course, I shared this video. Like I said, this is the only place where white people, this was, I think, he said in North America or South America, I can't remember, but yeah, in Dahomey, where no white man can get here. And this is because the place is very spiritual, not because of racism, not because Black people are full of hate, nothing to do with that. This is because the place is very spiritual to the point where white people can't survive this place.
And within Dahomey, no white person is allowed in this village. So out of curiosity, I was like, you know what? I need to go find out why no white person is allowed. I was told that no white people are allowed in this village.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Why?
The spirit that they have here is a warrior spirit who fought against the European in the slavery time. And every time that the warrior spirit see white people, he get aggressive, so they want to fight. That's why they don't allow white people to come here.
What will happen if a white person comes here?
They die, exactly. So this is nothing to do with guns, nothing to do with racism from Black people. What Nelson Mandela is trying to preach all here, some bullshit. Nothing to do with that. Now, back in the continent of Africa, white South Africans don't want you to step in your own land. These are very understandable reason. It's very spiritual. So even if you wanted to, and even if we allow you to, hey, you're going to walk out here as a corpse. That's what you've been told. But on this other end, no, it's not even the spirits that will fight you. They're going to kill you.
And when I released the video,
this should really be pissing people off. And I don't know how South Africa is going to be liberated. But this is something that actually, because I'm saying this video is almost 1 million views. With 1 million people watching this from whatever African continent you're watching, is this ringing a bell to you in your country? If it's taking effect, or the little things you see about white people in your country? Jamaicans, hello?
The next video that came into my...
Oh, Ghanaians, hello? Ghanaians, hello? Wode Maya, you should be warning your people about this as you speak about this. We've just seen white South Africa. We've seen white people getting citizenship in Ghana. It starts with just the citizenship, and then they're going to start calling themselves Ghanaians. Not Ghanaians, Ghanaians, or whatever name they're going to come with. And then they're going to steal land. And because we have puppets of leaders, of course, they'll get the biggest percentage if possible. Trump is in power, so he can fight for white people wherever they are. Remember that? It's crazy.
My feed was a video of a friend of mine, by the way. His name is Joshua. He's a YouTuber based in Cape Town, talking about this town within Africa that no black person is allowed in there. And I'm like, you know what? They say curiosity kills a cat, right? Yep. So I guess with the African audience that I have, I personally want to go there as an African, as a black man, just to understand what is the motive behind it. Bro, like literally they have everything in here. Wow. I made it to Orania, and believe me or not, this is not the Orania that I was expecting. Because when I got here, I found a country within South Africa. Are we looking at the Republic of Orania?
I think there's different levels to freedom. I think our dream, we as Afrikaners, we love republics. We've created maybe about 20 in South Africa. Only 2 of them survived long term. It was the Republic of the Transvaal and the Free State. So we are people who love republics. Our ideal form of government is a republic. And I hope that one day, maybe my children will see it.
Good morning, or should I say sunrise, from Orania. Today is actually my first day waking up from Orania, and it was such a peaceful night. But it's kind of crazy to know that I'm the only black man in here. I mean, it's so crazy knowing that you just woke up in a white-only town.
We feel so patriotic about our community, so proud. It's still small, you know, but we're so proud of the things that we have achieved.
Today, Orania operates like its own micronation. The town of about 3,000 people run its own economy, and one of the backbones of their economy is agriculture.
Agriculture. So let's pause there. So we have this coon of a man telling us, hey, we have this white person telling us our black South Africans don't want to practice farming. Farming is a very disgusting job. It doesn't help in any sort of way. The biggest problem is economy, but the economy is thriving because of agriculture. Our land. Oh my God, it's so crazy. Joa Mosquito, karibu sana. Hope you're doing amazing. Welcome to the show today. How is the weekend? We're talking about literally the part of South Africa where black people are denied access. And this is the only white South Africans town, Orania. I think we've spoken about this maybe shallowly, but this is Wode Maya who went in this particular town and brought us this documentary. I've been watching this during the weekend and it shook me to some part of it. Literally, like where now we're about to see the solar panels they have really created. It's really a well-arranged town. But when you hear them talk about how they're talking about the black South Africans and the land, it's crazy. All right, so okay, you already know what's up here.
Do you guys export this?
Yes. So we'll sell it outside. It brings money into our economy. Another interesting thing, obviously, is that we can do something that a lot of farmers can't do, and that is we can plant 2 harvests in 1 year. So we plant the wheat in the summer, just before Christmas. This is harvested. It's plowed very quickly, and the farmers work 20 hours a day to get it done. They harvest, they plow, they plant, and then it's maize.
And trust me, I bet most of these farmers are still black South Africans, if I'm not wrong. You'll find most of these farmers probably are white, black South Africans working for these white people because they need the $2 or $5 to make a living back in their home. But again, I'm questioning because he just said most of the black South Africans don't even want the land back.
That's a lie.
Calm down, Karibu Sana, calm down. This is I lead, Karibu Sana. Karibu Sana. You don't come ambushing me like that. Karibu sana. You don't come ambushing me like that. So when you tell me that Black South Africans don't, the land is not their problem, but that is what you're practicing. They don't want to practice agriculture, and that is what you're practicing. Economy greater. Get the far on my face.
With Joby, how if Africans don't want to practice farming, how did they eat before these white people invaded their lands? Huh?
We can.
Is it? I'm asking. I'm saying, if black people didn't want to farm, what he's saying is a lie. He's using Wode Maya as propaganda. Wode Maya is a coon. He's always been a coon. Still a coon while he's there. Nobody would ever. You can never build a black-only town in Europe ever. They'll wipe your ass out.
That's what he said.
Only African. Huh? What happened, Joe? I'm not saying.
That's also what Wode Maya was saying. He asked these white South Africans, where have you seen a black man going to China, India, in America, claiming, I want to set up my own town right here, white people, and I'm practicing, claiming this is their culture.
Only black, because they know black people are weak. Only black people allow this. You're not going to see it nowhere. That's why it doesn't exist nowhere. You'll never see it nowhere. Only with black people.
For me, what I've understood, and because when you talk about agriculture, something I always say I love talking about, but it makes me mad. They ensured black people. This is all. We'll start with the white man to blame. They ensured we don't practice our cultures, our traditions, only religion, right? So if I'm focused on Jesus for the garden, to give me food, I have to think about practice farming, Keith. Oh, leave alone that. I do not even learn on. So how do I learn about agriculture? Because I say the biggest problem Africans have of even practicing agriculture because of lack of this. But these white people here using as an excuse of telling us, oh, Black South Africans, the problem is not land, the problem is the economy. But how does the economy thrive without even the land being producing anything?
Let me explain something. Before you get upset. You got to understand, he's white, he's a psychopath. They lie about everything. Okay, now let me explain something to you. You know, Africans practice farming to feed themselves before them white people showed up and invaded. These people are invaders, Joe. So understand, South Africa is one of the richest countries in the world, and when they had control of it, they're incompetent. They stole all the land. They still own most of the land, but they stole all the farmland. They still own all of it, Joby. These white people still own all the farmland in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because it was never given back with Goopy Nelson Mandela because he was a puppet. And so you see what they did when they had control of the country. It was incompetent. They made sure black people had nothing. The 10%, they like 7%. You had the Indians there. So 10% of the population had control of all the economy. Everybody lived in abject poverty, Joby. That's what they want. These people are fucked up in their head. They're savage. He's just in there. This coon ass Negro is always, he's just a coon. That's what he is. Sorry to tell you, he's always going to be a coon. He's traitorous. And then we'll see what I do in the comment. All that. In real life, real war. I hate to say Wode Maya would be something done with. I'm just going to keep it like that. He'd be done with. Something had to happen to him. Just keeping it a buck. This propaganda he's putting out. He shouldn't have walked in and said, listen, I don't got nothing you want. What can they tell him? They have a juxtaposition with another South African telling them the truth, along with this man. No, he just feeding this propaganda out there. I never seen this thing right here, so must be new.
It's new. It's a new video, and that's why we're sharing. I don't know about the propaganda part, but personally, what I'm gonna say, thank you to him, because we're learning something here also as Africans, because there's many Africans who don't know about this. There are many Africans who go to South Africa and probably are not aware about this. You go there,
the South Africans know about it.
Be short, so it's good. As much as it's a coon, personally, I'm gonna give him the credit of trying to educate us of things we don't know about our country.
South Africans gonna tell you to mind your own business.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't care. We want to learn. Okay. We need to understand because we see now white people getting citizenship in Ghana. This is the same bullshit you're gonna be facing in the next 10, 20 years if you're not careful. In Kenya,
exactly.
in Tanzania, it is already taking effect. You can see the Tanganyika people's land is being taken away. And that's what I'm saying. This video is almost 1 million views. And I'm certain so many Africans from different countries have watched this. What are you learning from this? What are you learning? He's a Ghanaian. Is this in fact happening right now of white people literally invading his own country? I question that too. Is he talking about it? Because I've not seen any video of him talking about that. That is something that we should be raising an alarm about.
He think it's normal, Joe. All the white people coming in. It's exactly we do the same thing, and those are white Arabs. I mean, make sure we understand it is not regular white Europeans. These are the most heinous white. Those are white Arabs who treat Africans like shit in the Middle East. That the Ghanaians allowed to become citizenship. Those were white Arabs, Joby. Even worse.
Mm-hmm. So
and
just
because, and other people, black people have brought it up. They said, "What are you doing? What are you?" But you gay. The African is like a moron. Still, he doesn't learn. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know how many times you need to be taught, but just because you woke up, just to give you, of course, I've already shared like I'd say 20 minutes, no, 11 minutes of it. It's quite long, so we're gonna push the time a little bit longer. But these white South Africans are giving, of course, excuses of how they got this land, why they have this percentage of land. Because Wode Maya asked him, "Don't you think this is racism you're practicing?" And he's like, "Nah, this is a misconception of the people who have not been here." And the question to me is, how do you expect people to not have a misconception and to not think about this as a racism when you don't even allow them to even? This is one of the sundown towns, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not wrong.
Of course, that'd be yes, South Africa. That'd be a sundown town. But since they're the minority, the idea that you got a minority practicing the sundown towns that reflects on African people, Joby. It tells you that you're African. You guys are suckers. You're weak. You're stupid. We got sundown towns in America because black people are the minority. It would never happen in America if we were the majority. We would never tolerate. We never tolerate this. But in South Africa, this is tolerated because of the black man being weak. Joby, this is what about. You want to go all around the bush, instead of saying what it is. The weakness of African men. This would never be tolerated in China. Chinese man would kill you. This wouldn't be tolerated in Europe. Europeans would kill you. This wouldn't be tolerated nowhere but Africa. You wouldn't have a white only town, not even in India, they'll kill you. Only in Africa they know the black man's weak and docile. That's why it's there, Joby. They got to call. That's why it's there. Call spade a spade. It wouldn't exist. I'm glad he asked. I've never seen. I'm glad he did ask that because this would not be tolerated nowhere, ever.
So we're gonna continue. So Wode Maya just got in, and it's crazy because these people even have their own currency in this particular town.
Yeah, exactly. How do you have your own currency inside of a?
It's crazy. That shocked me too. It's a like that shocked me too. They have the most arable land. You can see this is really, really big. They're producing lots of food, and they're claiming what? They're claiming that us, the black people, we consider farming as a dirty job. It's not profitable. It's not helpful. But that is what you're practicing. That is what exactly you're practicing.
That's how you know it's a lot. Black people are fighting to get the land back, but they won't give it back. Remember the other white people around the world told them, you better not. Even the little land they're taking back right now, you see white people around the world go crazy because they know they want people. I always tell black people, all this dumb fighting black people do. You got these morons in America talking this dumb FBA shit. We're not like the Africans. All this stupid shit black people do. White people get on cold. They know they don't play that shit like black people do. And I have to say right now, it's the black Americans talking stupid with that Tariq Nasheed shit. You're just CIA nonsense. We married a whole white woman. This is crazy. See, the morons, but they divide and conquer because black people somehow are just retarded. Those other white people don't live in South Africa. And the funny part about it, the other whites know that these people are extremely racist, even more racist than them. Because Australia and New Zealand said, don't send us no more of these South Africans. We won't even allow them in our white countries. They're crazy racist. When you hear another white people call you racist, you know you messed up. So that's why Trump said bring him to America. So I tell Trump is still a racist, guys. No matter what you think he's something that's good that benefits us, that's cool. But at the end of the day, Elon Musk and the people around him are wicked, anti-black racist to the bone, to their core. Don't ever get that twisted. You get twisted. Oh, is that got some other African American? Oh, Donald Trump's not racist. He told his person. Moron, he's a racist, dummy. You know, you go from one side to the next. Some things he's doing to benefit black people. Don't get it twisted. Donald Trump is a deep racist. That's why he's offering citizenship to these white people. They don't even want to come because they know they never had this good. Because this right here wouldn't be tolerated in no other country. Only black people would do this because you would be wiped out. It would even, and there'd be no questions. It would be no damn, let's discuss it. You'd be wiped out, Joby.
Yeah, let me continue as we try to go with the time.
So your next harvest is maize, and you harvest that in the winter, in June, July, and when that goes out, you've got a short time to put in the wheat again. So
all the farmers live in Orania.
Obviously, there's farms surrounding Orania as well. Okay. This is an Orania farmer, this one.
So who owns this farm?
An individual farmer owns it. It is part of Orania, but an individual farmer
Look
owns
at all that land.
this land. And the farmer works for their own benefit and revenue and takes the risks for themselves.
They even have their own solar panel system.
It's really mind-blowing to see a town with just 3,000 people owning their own solar farm. Yep. Does it mean that like you guys don't depend on the national grid?
We're still connected to the national grid. Yeah. So at the moment we're approximately 45%.
In this kind of propaganda, you lose your own people like this goopy Negro, then to put a good face. Look at what we're talking about. Then it's a good, this not bad, blah, blah, blah. He's not even pushing back on it because this dude is a coon. He's see, this kind of shit is dangerous. That's why Joby don't understand this. You think, oh, like this is dangerous, Joby. You don't understand what this is.
Tafadhali. It's not like I'm not understanding anything. I don't think I'd be representing this video if I didn't understand anything. And secondly, all I said is I'm grateful for Wode Maya. He's bringing a lesson. I don't know how you see it apart from him being a coon, but this is a lesson to us Africans. Get that, Tafadhali.
The utility and the dream is to go the whole way.
What is the idea behind this whole solar farm, and which year did it begin?
It began in.
So since he's a coon, what are the rest of the Africans learning from the coon? That is what they should be learning, and that's why I'm presenting it. You should learn something from here.
21.
Recent.
Recent.
Very recent. What is the main reason why you establish your own solar farm, knowing that you live within South Africa?
The main reason for Orania is that we want to be.
Where in Africa do we have this? Which country keep tell me that is doing this? Tell me. South Africa, it's apart from these white people who are doing the solar panel farm. This is something we should be having as a continent, because we have these other agendas of climate change, which type of energies we need to use and all that. And we've seen all them, their propagandas. Look at what white people are doing. What are you learning from this? Since we wanna say the African man is weak and all that, let him learn something from this.
Well, learn how to get his land taken and don't do shit about it. Okay, we're learning. Thank you.
Yeah.
To be independent on many levels, and one level is energy. Our energy. If you're not in energy independent, you're not free.
What makes you feel so proud as an Oranian? Should I say Oranian or South African?
You're Oranian. We're Oranians. We're in South Africa. we
Pause this, Toby. Guys, if you understand that the white people in that part of Africa they're now trying to succeed from South Africa and make their own country.
Exactly.
This is what about to happen. And so he's not even understanding because he's a moron. You have people coming to the Cape right now, all kind of foreign, Dutch, French, English. Now they're trying to put a separatist movement together to steal all of the Western Cape right there. See, that's the Northern Cape where these people are at. They want to steal all of it again. All of it. Go ahead.
Let me continue. He said it when he walked into a whole another country. I don't know what that makes him a moron because he also said it. There's a whole another country in South Africa.
Not just that, Joe, but they want to take not just that little city right there. They want to take the whole area.
Mm-hmm. It's expanding.
Like taking half of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so loose from South Africa. They are our neighbors. We pay taxes in South Africa, but we're proud Iranians.
But we're proud. We did it. So pause that. These are the same people, guys. That Wode Maya doesn't know anything. These are the same people that went to African countries to overthrow them. These same fucking people here. They went to Angola, tried to overthrow them. They went to Namibia. They colonized Namibia, treated Africans like shit in Namibia. They went over to Mozambique to destabilize it. They were also up in Zimbabwe and Botswana. See, this is the dirty history he don't know. That's why he's dangerous. That these people are not peaceful, loving, and all that other shit. These also the same people that brought AIDS to South Africa. Okay, if you don't know where AIDS came from, you better know. Most Africans finally are starting to learn this. These are man-made diseases that came into South Africa. Now, South Africa is the most AIDS-ridden part of Africa. How was that possible? Because those white people wanted that land. They were willing to do any barbaric shit to keep it. That's how it got there. I got to Africa. So they're not just, we're just peaceful and we're proud of us and all that other shit he's saying. See, there's no juxtaposition. That's why this is propaganda. He's just talking, but no one's pushing back on their real history. That's why this is propaganda, and that's why this becomes dangerous. Because Wode Maya doesn't have the historical background to push back on anything being said. So that's why this is a detriment. Go ahead, Joe.
Schools in Orania do not teach in English as the rest of South Africa, but rather Afrikaans.
Do you have a school in here?
We have two high schools.
And let's make sure we understand. There's no such thing as Afrikaans. See, white people always do. So he's too. Oh my God, I can't stand this dude. They come to any country. Remember, they assimilate this. And Joe, be sure to video about the white people in Australia, and they had the black girl say, "Where did we come from? This is my land. I'm indigenous to Australia." And the black girl said, "What? You're indigenous to England, not Australia." Remember, they're now the white people now the Indians of America. They always do that to take claim to land. They're Dutch, not teaching the Afrikaners. It's Dutch. These are Dutch people. But they don't want to call themselves Dutch because that shows you they don't have no attachment to Africa. So they make a fake name called Afrikaners. They're not Africans. And that term came first from the mixed people that they had there first. They said, "Ooh, that sounds good. Let's call ourselves Afrikaners." We're the Afrikaners. These are Afrikaner language. It's Dutch, guys. These are people from the Netherlands. They're Dutch. So there's no Afrikaans. It's the Dutch. Like if Joby opens up Google and say, "Is Afrikaans close to Dutch language?" It's going to say yes. Yes, it is. Afrikaans. That's what they do to make claim to other people's culture and land. They're Dutch. They have nothing to do with African. We're the Afrikaners. That's what they do when they colonize everywhere. They're the Indians now in America. We are the Indians. All these white people are now Indians. I got Indian, my friend, the most racist, white, blonde, blue-eyed bastard in America is now a Cherokee Indian or a Seminole. You guys know what I'm saying? And go to damn South Australia. These white people would tell you they are the Aboriginals. We're the Aborigine of Australia. They ain't trying to that in Tasmania. They wiped out all the black people there. So I never knew that black people were in Tasmania. They wiped them people out. Now they're the true Tasmania. So it's the same shit you see here. Go ahead, Joe.
So I'm going to share bits of it and the rest for those who'd love to watch it, because I'm not going to share Keith criticizing, I don't like, there's something I just don't like, but I'm going to share the rest of the video for you. Those who'd like to continue.
I'm giving it context.
I understand you, Keith, but you did not start with me the video. So you're judging him, not understanding what he's been saying.
Okay,
so
go ahead. What you been saying? Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, play him. I don't know. What have you been saying?
We also have a college, tertiary training. We are dreaming to build our own Afrikaans university.
And you teach in Afrikaans?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Everything we do is Afrikaans. And studies show that children who are taught in their mother tongue perform better than children who are taught in another language. Like
Are you against the educational system in South Africa?
Well, I'm definitely against the Bella law that's currently being implemented.
What is that?
That is a law that gives the state control of the schools rather than the parents of the schools. So we're very much against that. I think it's the state grabbing the power of schools, taking away people's rights. There's a lot of religious issues with that. There's lots of cultural issues with that. So South Africans are actually very angry about that. That's why the schools that we built here, we get zero state funding. We don't get a cent from the government. And it's also not expensive. So all the extra money that we need for our schools, we have to raise with projects.
So does it mean that like all the people that study in this school are from Orania? Do you get people out of Orania?
Just, surrounding farms and so on also come here. And then the college, tertiary training, people from around the country also come to study here.
You can study here, but you can't live in here.
Well, they can. All of them can apply for the right to citizenship in Orania, definitely.
Citizenship? The college in Orania don't believe in theory only, but rather practicals, because they believe that the children are the ones that will be able to build the future of Orania. You have a college in Orania?
We identified the need to train our people in physical skills, plumbing, electrical work, and masonry to build houses, and that's called skills. And that's why we started the college. In 2019, we had only 5 students, 2020, 50, and now there's about 124. We're expecting more than 200 next year.
So this is more like a plumbing practical class?
Yes.
Wow.
So the first groups of students made everything, and now the second and third and fourth generation, they get to use everything the first guys built.
Their life becomes easier.
No, these tables, they built it with the lecturers.
Wow.
Exactly right.
I'm really impressed with the infrastructure
These are acts of war right here. This is an act of war. This is a fucking act of war. That's what this is.
Man, in Orania, because a town of about 3,000 people got their own airstrip, and every single road that you see in this town was actually built and financed by the people. What do you do in Orania?
My responsibility is the growth of Orania. In other words, in Orania, we don't get any money from the government. We are responsible to create our own economy and your own wealth. So my responsibility is to make sure where is the certain areas that needs to address.
This makes a very good a good point why when Trump was offering them to go back, to America, why they're refusing. Because you can see they've already it's a whole town, it's a whole country they're trying to create of their own here. Everything starting with they have their own currency. I was shocked. They have their own university, their airstrips, everything literally built by them and funded by them. So it gives a very clear answer, because like the other white guy started by saying Africa is the good place to be. I don't want to be anywhere else. So they know that. They literally understand the benefits that our land serves them. We don't.
And then we address our areas. What we are doing, we have various projects.
Wode Maya looking at the black servants that they bring in that night. They got black servants in there. That they have served. Black people always are stupid. They got black servants that come in there and serve them, and maids and all that shit. And then at a certain time, I think it's 6 o'clock, they all gotta leave out of there. They come in the morning and be their servants again. Because black people you're seen as a servant class. See, he doesn't show that. Then also, has Wode Maya learned how these South Africans had slaves? See, people don't realize there was slavery in South Africa. Do you know that, Joby? That there was slavery in South Africa, that these white people there held these black people as slaves.
Like I said, family, I'll share the video on. I know, Keith.
Joby,
I know.
do me a favor, or you get all mad at me. Do me a favor.
It was explained in the video from the beginning. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's presenting something he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, he's a coon, trying to get YouTube numbers and all that.
Right.
But I'm not going to give him credit for trying to educate Africans. That's what I stand on. That's what I want you to say.
What education did he give you? What did you get from that?
Do you think everyone in Kenya knows about Orania, Keith? Do you think everyone in Tanzania knows about Orania? Everyone in
the South Africans know the South Africans.
They know. Not everyone in Kenya knows. So if I am a Kenyan and I've never been in South Africa and I don't know about the history and I follow Wode Maya and I learn about something like that, that is educative to me. That is educative to me.
The South Africans know it.
What about the other Africans?
South Africans told you that that's none of your business.
I'm going to share the rest of the video on what those who'd love to continue, man.
Do this for me, Joe, real quick. Do this for me real quick. Do this for me real quick where you get all mad and crazy. Look up, say, is the Afrikaans language, go to Google, is the Afrikaans language considered the Dutch language? Or from Dutch? Say, is the Afrikaans language from Dutch? We're gonna give some context. If we got black eye power, we're gonna just say, Wode Maya just talk this propaganda shit he's talking. We need to know what the hell's going on. Since Africans really need to know, so we're gonna really know. There's no Afrikaans.
They said no, it's not a Dutch language.
The Afrikaans is not a Dutch language?
Yeah, he said no, Afrikaan or Afrikaans is not the Dutch language. That is what Google is saying.
Afrikaner.
Yeah, that is Afrikaan. Afrikaan, K-A-A-N.
No, Afrikaner. Say South African Afrikaner language stems from the Dutch.
That is, kid. No, it's not Dutch language.
There you go. There you go. Mumpy. I'm about to call you Mumpy Damper from Gambia. There you go. Tepo. You see, yes, Job, it is. I don't care what that it is. No such thing as an Afrikaner language. Those are Dutch people. They just repackaged Dutch and called it Afrikaners. They're not Afrikaner people. They're Dutch from Europe. The Dutch.
You're saying, although Afrikaans is very similar to Dutch, it is a separate language.
If it's similar to Dutch, yes, it's taking on its own characteristics from being in another country. But just like English is not German anymore, but it comes from German. English comes from the German language. You know, English is German. It starts from German, but you can't. Even though I speak English, don't mean I can understand German anymore. But that's where it came from. Afrikaans comes from Dutch, comes from the Dutch language. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't understand that these white people had the Africans in South Africa as slaves, he's up there talking, oh, look what you're doing. This is so great. Look at the land, all this land that was stolen from black people. There's no counter measure with Wode Maya's presentation. He just showed them in a positive light. Look at the great things they're doing. You know, this is on stolen land that they beaten with African people. You're not saying that. And the dumbass South Africans do not realize these people want to steal all the Western Cape. That's the Northern Cape. They want to steal all of it. They want to claim the Western Cape as their own, Joby. There's a movement right now.
The question,
Okay,
what
go
I
ahead.
learned from that video and why I'm presenting this, because like I said, that video is
That's
almost
what I'm telling the Joe. That's what I'm telling the Temple. Thank you. Sometimes that's what I'm trying to explain. She getting mad at me.
I'm not getting mad. What I want you, I love. It's okay for you to, if it's not going back to history, it doesn't have an African person to relate with the white. It's okay. I get what you're saying, Kate. I get it very correctly. My reason of presenting this again, and with those who have watched Wode Maya's video from Africa, the continent, and even outside, the question to them is, what are you learning? And that's why I started with the Ghana, going
What's
to
in the
Tanzania.
comment section, Joby?
What are we learning from this? What are we
Joby.
learning as Africans?
Okay, Joby. Joby, go to video. Let's read the comment section. You always say let's read the comment section of that video then. See what they learn.
The comments majority didn't make sense. I'm not gonna lie, because I read the comments.
What would they say, Joby?
All right, so I'm gonna read some. One of the persons says, we can criticize the no blacks allowed rule and still acknowledge how impressive this is. So much to learn from. There's so much to learn from. You see, others are like, this is something to learn, because
they're showing you the amount of African people, Joby, right there being weak. That's what that shows you. That shows you that African people are docile. That comment right there just showed you that, Joby.
Another person says this community serves as a lesson to all the Africans. We should be self-dependent, united, and build our various communities by ourselves. Such a brilliant documentary. Because we can't keep on depending on our leaders.
I know it's an act of war, Steppo. That's what I'm trying to teach Joby. And the comments show that the African is a moron. Those comments are showing her that. She don't want to admit that, but the comments showing that they're weak. This shit ain't right. The leaders have sold out the African people. This is what this shows. This comment, that's why I wanted to go to the comment section. What are other Africans saying about this fuck shit? These are
all Africans have to learn from this and build yourself. Become independent. Why people are slowly invading you as you watch. That is one of the comments. So basically, personally, all I see, I'm gonna still do it, say from a positive side of African learning about the part of South Africa, which is Orania, and the rest that we don't know, that are sundown towns. Okay, what they are doing, and this is being allowed still by our own puppets, because yes, South Africa doesn't have the power, I believe, to fight these people or Ramaphosa. What is it? What has he done?
You don't have the power to fight a few thousand people of a country like South Africa. What's the population of South Africa? Like 50 million?
Let me see.
You mean they don't have the power? There's like 1,000 some white people. You run through them like a warm knife through butter. Joby is sentimental about South Africa. She wants to say, she's like, there's something we can learn. What are you learning?
63 million.
63 million. 63 million. So the majority are black people, Joe. So the lesson learned is don't be a sucker. That's the lesson you learn. Don't be a sucker. All this, we learn how to be self-independent black people. And I'm gonna tell you now, right now, there are farms in Kenya that have solar panels on them, constructed and built by black Kenyans. Yeah. So they don't need to take a book out of any white man's book, any page out of his book. They come to steal land and take over and say, well, we stole it, but let's keep it. Africa's great as long as we got all the money and power that we stolen. The reason why Africa's bad is because of the bootlick. The leaders are there because white people put those leaders there. So tell me, Joey, why do you think that this Irania, why could you make Afghanistan in Europe or Afghanistan? Let's name an African town that we would build in Europe or China. Why can't we build Afghanistan in China?
Because you can't.
Why not? They got land. Why can't we just go? Why can't we just go in the land, take it, start building, and then create our own African language inside of China? Why can't we do that?
Because you're black.
Why not? Why can't we do it? Because of the power dynamics, the Chinese will wipe your ass out. That's why. And because you're just black, they'll wipe you out. Same way white people went in the beginning, they colonized China and had the land. You know, Hong Kong. Put us up, Joe, real quick on Google. Say, when did the British return Hong Kong to the Chinese? You know, Hong Kong's a major city, huge, that the white man just stole. Only reason why they had to return it because China now had power. And they were going to take it by force. So they went and built another city in someone's country, just took it over. And Macau was controlled by the white Portuguese. They give it back the same year you're born, right? 98?
97.
97? Okay, you know why they did that? They had it for over 100 years, didn't it? They said they had over 100 years.
Pardon? 154.
156 years, the British went and just stole that part and built their own city. Hey, we're taking it over. The reason why, because China was too weak. It's white people do. They went in, taught English, you know, and you can put up a picture of Hong Kong. It's amazing. The Chinese finally got power. So you don't tolerate that, Joe. But that lesson is learned when you get power, you don't allow people to take your land and keep it and set their own shit. So by that time in 97, China was becoming a world power. No more low budget third world country. So we're not going to tolerate the British owning land and cities inside of China. We're not going to allow that no more. So for your best doing, you're not going to go to war with us. But the Chinese will wipe you out now. So it's in your benefit to return that land, that stolen land that you took 150 years back to us, or it's going to get ugly for you. See, that's what white people do. They go in other people's countries, steal their land, make up fake things and shit. That's what they're doing there in South Africa. Africans don't have any power, so that's why it's allowed to continue. When Africans get power, Joby, that shit's going to be wiped out. It's not going to be tolerated.
I hope you've had Africans, I hope you have had. You need power. You need power. As we wind up, Charlie, as we come to the end of the show today. I don't have any closing remarks, Kate. If you have any closing remarks.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing in Palestine, the war, exactly, because they went to Palestine, stole that land. Now the Palestinians are damn foreigners in their own country now, right? They're now foreigners. Say, yeah, I don't believe the Palestinians. That's what's going to eventually happen to South Africa right now, because they want all that whole Cape now. They're going to war for it. That's why you never allow this little shit to happen right here, because you're now putting other people's mind. We can take all of it then. They can take, because they don't remember. The only reason why they start the apartheid, guys, because other African nations, especially in Angola, the white people are smart. So it took them 25 years. They went out for 30 years. They hollowed out Angola. And Angola gave that ultimatum. Don't believe it's anybody in no Nelson Mandela. Angola said, we're going to murder every white man. See, this how also remember the South Africans controlled Namibia too. See, don't teach you that. And the white people in Namibia still own all the land there too. So Angola, after they won that war with South Africa in the late 1980s, early 1900s, white people wanted to put a difference. Oh, we decided to be nice and kind and stop apartheid. They didn't. They lost what they call border wars. And Angola had broken their back. Angola said, if you don't stop apartheid, we're going to go in South Africa. We're going to murder every man, every woman, every white child. We're going to wipe you people out. That's when the white people had a come to Jesus moment, because they lost the war. They didn't do it because they were nice and kind and they said, ooh, now we're going to be nice and kind to these niggas. No, they lost a major war that they've been funding into Botswana, into Namibia, into South Angola, into Zimbabwe, into Mozambique. They were keeping these countries destabilized so they can keep running their wicked ass scheme of apartheid and stealing everything. South Africa is one of the it should be the richest country on the planet, just like the Congo. But they stole all that money, and then when they ended apartheid, God, they don't teach you this. I told the white people stole almost $300 billion. See, Joby don't know this. They stole $300 billion from the South African treasury and put it in offshore banks, and they use that money to fund their lifestyle back in South Africa today. They stole that money when they were supposed to get rid of apartheid. There's one last thing for me, Joby, real quick. Go to Google real quick and say, how long did the South African whites, the Afrikaners, keep the South African blacks enslaved? Since they're such good people, and we got our solar panels, and we just want to do our culture and be good people. We're just good people trying to live our lives.
It seems that the Afrikaans, descendants of Dutch settlers,
so Afrikaans is Dutch, Joby, right there. Okay, what? Go ahead.
Enslaved Black South Africans for roughly 2 centuries,
Yeah.
starting with the establishment of the Dutch East India Company settlement at the Cape of Good Hope in 1652.
But they're just trying to do good things, Joby. They enslaved Africans, beat them, raped them, killed them. They're just doing good things, Joby, building a road and putting up their solar panels.
I think you just saw the video on that, and you literally looking at it. But again, I hope Africans understand that we do need to unite, because I started by reading a very dumb quote from Nelson Mandela. He's one of the people who are telling South Africans it's okay to love each other. Nobody's born with hate and all that. But that is basically what is happening in his country. White people are full of hate. There's no love there.
There never has been, Joby. That's why he was put there as a puppet talking that dumb shit talk.
And I started with this quote saying that is a dumb quote, and that is how he used his power to make Black South Africans believe they can be friends with the white South Africans or white people who invaded South Africa.
Yeah, no, Joby, they're now Afrikaans. We're Afrikaans, Joby. We're Afrikaans. We're just no, it's not from Dutch, but Joby said so. They try to see the white people who make Google are even lying about where they come from. So now when Joby asks another question, oh yeah, it was the Dutch people who called themselves Afrikaans that enslaved the black people. So we know Afrikaans come from the Dutch language then. See, that's shit. You see how white people cover up their crimes and shit on their fake Google? When you don't know history, you got to come at from another angle. It tell you it's not from Dutch. And where'd it come from then? The Dutch. It's a Dutch language. Lying ass Google. Lying ass white people.
Family, we're wrapping it up here. In case anyone who missed the video, I'm gonna share the rest of it. Literally,
I don't either. I think it was a clone too. I think it was clone Jibba Jabba. Look at the young Mandela. He don't look nothing like that old man at all. It's 2 different people. I believe he was cloned too. If Joby shows show a young picture of Nelson Mandela when he was young. It's not the same guy. And you know it's not the same. You know it's not the same guy at all. Not the same man at all. But since we've been stupid and not want to scrutinize everything, we say, yeah, look at this Nelson. He don't look nothing like Nelson Mandela at all. At all. It's all because he's older. Older my ass. You don't look like a different man because you're older. Oh, now show that picture, Joby, of the young. Yeah, just that one. Show one. Now, once you look at that now, once you open up another tab to show older, say Nelson Mandela at old age, and you tell me that's the same man. It is not. That's not the same man at all. If you put the facial structure together, you know it's not the same man. How'd he get lighter? Now he's lighter. He's lighter than he was when he was younger. 2 shades lighter. The facial features don't match up. And if we had a good computer that could do facial pattern as they get older, this is not the same man. I don't know who this nigga is right here. That ain't the Nelson Mandela that went to prison.
Yep. But he was a no good leader. But anyway, family, we're coming to the end of today's show. Shout out to those who have been here with us.
You didn't want to read the comments. Yo, what are the comments?
You've been reading most of them, kids.
I didn't read none of them. I get y'all to read like one or two.
I reply to everyone here. I'm literally very careful. I'm very, very keen, kid.
Joby, why are you so agitated? What did we do to you? What was your weekend about?
It is you. It is you came here literally attacking Wode Maya and is educating people. It is you. I don't care what you see.
Why are you mad at me?
It's you. You come here, oh, you know, this buffet nigga, this. Nah. I should be asking you, are you starting your morning? What's that? Like,
how you start your morning? I just woke up and seen this. I was like, what? Oh, wait. What is this? What?
You just started the show and then I don't like who got them. I don't like what? You don't even listen to the whole video.
I don't. I didn't know. I had to put some context, Joby, behind what this moron was saying. So I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know. Okay, Joby. Then what was his conclusion at the end? So you've seen the video. What was Wode Maya's conclusion then? Help me out then. What was his conclusion about this whole situation then?
What are Africans learning from that? That was the whole conclusion.
That's what he said. What are they learning from that?
Yeah.
What are they supposed to learn? What am I supposed to learn from that?
The white people are literally slowly taking over your country.
They've been took it over. They ain't slowly taking it over. They already took it over. They've been took it over. Well, you gonna get it back?
We're gonna use the term slowly because black people can't see. So until it happens, then maybe that's when we're gonna see after we're thrown in the sea and we're gonna die in the sea again. And then that's when maybe we're gonna realize, hey, we've been thrown out of our land. White people have fully occupied us.
Okay.
Because we've been smiling at white people, not just South Africans. Let's not act like it's only South Africans who have this.
I didn't say it was South Africa. I said Africans.
That's how you guys are. That's you. That's how you sounding right now.
No,
okay?
I didn't say it was just South Africa.
No, it's affecting Kenya. It's affecting Tanzania. It's affecting Ghanaians.
I said Africans act like exactly. That's why That's why you should know you're the same people. That's right. You're loving. You're smiling everybody's face while they knock you in the head. That's right. That's right.
I wish I had that KFC you guys are talking about. I'd literally eat and chew the shit out of it right now, literally. Because I need more power for kids. I need more power. Kids can't be coming here attacking people like that. No.
I've been quiet. I said okay, then I stopped, and then I just did a juxtaposition. I didn't attack nobody. I stopped, and I said okay, let's put some context. Let's get some context behind this, why this is so criminal, and this is this appalling to South African people, just Africans in general. So let me just get some context, because why would I go in this city to put a favorable light on white people? Why is this a favorable video then? This is favorable. This is propaganda. If it's favorable, it's called propaganda, Joby. He didn't put no historical context, because if you want to do an even piece, he would listen to white people say, okay, and then he would show videos showing the other side, how these white people came to South Africa, had Africans enslaved. Just they're so nice. We just let me live our culture, and all that shit. He would say, okay, your culture enslaved African people, didn't it? Didn't your culture enslave African people? So, but no, that was just we just peace loving people. We just run around here with the lands and building our own schools. But don't you got black people coming here as servants and wash your clothes and do you just? Yes, these are filthy niggas. That's what we do to them. They're supposed to be our servants. Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that part of the video. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button. I'm not gonna do that. So yeah,
but anyway, family, we wrap it up right here.
Why are you trying to rush so fast?
Time, I've been here 1 hour 30 minutes. My time is up. It's Ewaton's time, literally. It's not like I'm trying to rush anything.
But I don't think Earton's friend showed up. Hey, Earton, did your friend show? Did Musa show up?
Virtual.
Did Musa show up?
No.
Earton?
No.
See, so calm down, Joby. We supposed to have.
My time is up. It's virtual. She said it's virtual. My time is up, literally.
Oh, he's gonna come in on virtual?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun talking to Musa yesterday. So I think he was showing up today, okay? But whites in South Africa claim to be exactly. I told you. That's what I'm telling Joby. He didn't even say that. I said they claim to be indigenous now. That's why they came up with that fake term Afrikaans. It's dangerous. That's why I said it's insane.
And that's why family, I'm gonna share the rest of the video on WhatsApp because it is there.
We're not gonna watch that shit. You can put it there if you want.
It's okay if you don't want to watch it, but I'm clarifying what you're saying. He said these white South Africans themselves have been asked, "How did you get the land?" They said it's ancestral. Exactly what just Tepo is saying there. It's from our ancestral parents. We got
that
it.
They stole. We
got it legally. And Wode Maya asked them, who did you pay? There's no answer. No, there's no answer to who
they paid nobody. That's why they claim. That's what everywhere they go, Joe. But they claim to be ancestors to the land. That's the scam they do. They're now the American Indians in America. They're the Australian black people. Like that video. I don't know where you got that video funny. When that lady said, "This is our land, Australia. We are indigenous to Australia." And they said, "Well, where else could we be?" And the black Australian girl said, "England." That's what they do, Joe. But they claim to be indigenous to places that they steal. So anyway, I'll let Joby go and wrap it up. Good conversation. Joby, get back. Jerry Boo. I'm sorry, Joe. That would be. I was sitting in my bed, had you on the TV. I was like, what is this? Where my phone at? What is this shit here, Joby? What is this dude talking? This thing is making me angry. That's why I came in crazy. This thing made me angry because there's no pushback what Wode Maya is doing. Okay, he's good. Okay, great. He's going there talking to South Africa. What did we learn? We learned what? That black people don't have any power. That's what we learned. Okay?
But yes, much love, family. Have yourselves a beautiful day. And second one, there's no date that went wrong. But yeah, I also see you saying that Joby, we love you, but Keith is right. I didn't say he's wrong. I didn't say he's wrong at all. And it's not like I don't understand what the Maya is trying to get those YouTube numbers up as well. He's not gonna come with the facts as we can, and that's what we need to do. If Keith can break it down, which he's doing, that's good. You know, you're giving us the context. Yes, which he can't.
Exactly right, Keith. He didn't ask any hard questions. He just allowed them to do propaganda. It's called a propaganda piece. Oh, look at what they're doing. Look how great it is. Look at, you're going to build a university. Ooh, you're going Ray always does them goofy ass. Ooh. This is a moron.
Have yourselves a beautiful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a good conversation. The back and forth with Mr. Black of Fire.
Come back and enjoy Airtime, guys. We got a guy from Florida that Airtime's going to have in there. We're going to have him in there. I was talking with her and Airtime, and Joby said like for 2 or 3 hours yesterday. It was a really good, fun conversation with a young man living in Kenya now. We were asking, what is his favorite countries? And I was explaining to him, said Kenyans are more like Americans, but they don't even know that. So that's where you probably feel more comfortable. And he agreed. He had been to Senegal, Gambia, Ghana. He had been, I think, to Nigeria. I know he's been to Morocco, Tanzania. Like I said, Kenya would identify with him mostly because I feel the Kenya is the closest thing to us.
Yeah, so much love, family. Have a good day. See you guys later on the Rhythm Scoop Show. Come back and catch up with you at all.
Let me get Joby some grocery money so you can go eat some McDonald's and calm her ass down.
I love you all too so much. Thank you for tuning in. I love you all so much.
Yeah, I was sleeping. I said, this is Joby Line. I stayed up late. I looked. I started looking on TV. I said, what is this goofy shit here with this Wode Maya up in this white town? I'm like, hold on, let me get to my phone right here. I can't go to the living room to my computer. Let me get to my phone. I came in. Kitty boo. Oh shit.
Peace.